nice and hydrated. So let's do this. Ladies, gentlemen, and those who identify under that Technicolor banner, welcome to OOFS, Out of Fuel Simracing. We are a Le Mans Ultimate League based in North America. I am Nitin Murthy and I will be your host tonight, and it is good to have you guys here. Today we head to Portimao in southern Portugal and the hilly bends of the Autodromo Nacional Algarve for the first round of Season 3 and the first round of this season's Multiclass Championship. The format today is LMP2 ELMS, or the unrestricted version, and GT3s, both together racing on this tight, twisty, and very hilly track. 55 minutes, and with double the normal tire wear and fuel burn. So compared to if you were here for the sprint yesterday, this is a very different type of battle. As Lewis Hamilton once said in my top 5 famous last words, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm sure we will get some strategy and also some intense battling, and I can't wait to get started. The track was built in 2008, hosts both bike and car races. Very popular venue with fans and drivers alike due to the elevation changes and the technical nature of the track, making it very difficult to nail a lap. F1 fans in the audience might remember Kimi Raikkonen's 2020 race start, where he went from 16th to 6th in an Alfa Romeo Sauber at the age of 41, showing that Unk still got it. Let's not talk about what happened in 2021. Looking at the track, a couple of interesting action zones on this one. Turn 3 to turn 5. Turn 3 a right-hand hairpin and turn 5 a left-hand hairpin, which allows for some dive bombs and switchbacks through the section, especially since turn 4 is not easy flat. You kind of have to nail the line. So we saw some drivers in the sprint yesterday struggle to get a good exit out of turn 4 and just be vulnerable to a move. Turn 8 to turn 11, another action zone, with turn 8 having a tricky exit, which is off camber, and that allows for the car behind to maybe set up a move going into the double braking zone of turn 11 with varying lines. Turn 14 and 15, towards the end of the lap, also a good place to set up a move, especially since GT3s can't really take. Oh, and there we're back. Apologies. Technical gremlins tonight a little bit. Totally not me accidentally unplugging a USB port. But as I was saying, turn 15, not quite flat for the GT3s, quite flat for the LMP2 URs. So you'll see a lot of lapping and chaos happen to the final corner, which might set up a move going down the main straight. Also quite easy to get track limits on this track, so you'll see drivers having to manage that, especially with the extra length of this race. And they have to be careful to avoid getting a drive-through towards the end of the race. Practice is just about coming to an end. I believe our drivers are still in the briefing. So, this is a little awkward. We can talk very quickly about how the league structure works. Tonight, the first race of our multi-class championship, as you see on the left here. The first round at Portimao. We also have Le Mans next week, then Interlagos, Monza in the Curva Grande layout, Sebring, Paul Ricard, Coda, and Spa. An excellent track selection, if I may say so myself. The servers open up. We have 30 minutes of practice, but we do highly recommend practicing beforehand. We have a 25-minute qualifying, which will be split tonight. We will get into that a little bit more. And a 55-minute race, and as I mentioned, double tire usage, double fuel usage, so drivers will have to be economical and if they want to land on the winning strategy. No tire warmers as well, so the pit stops and the first lap are going to be very, very interesting to watch. We also have the Sprint Championship, which had its first round yesterday. If you were around for that stream or in that race, you will be familiar with it by now. It's a shorter race, 30 minutes with a 10-minute qualifying, with normal fuel and tire usage. and no tire warmers, again. But this encourages some more out-and-out racing all the way to the checkered flag. We follow the same schedule, just on Wednesdays instead of Thursdays. It looks like we have a few cars on track, so we'll get a few last-minute runs. Oops, hold on. So, as of right now in practice, Michael Landry setting the pace for LMP2s, with Casey Jackman setting the pace for the GT3s. Not quite the pace where you'd expect the GT3s to be at. The LMP2s are already... Landry putting an insane lap on 33.3 with just on his first practice run. But yeah, the GT3 is seemingly taking a little bit warmer to get those tires up to temperature. As we see the drivers take to the track for a little bit of a warm-up before qualifying. Qualifying tonight. Well, before I get into qualifying, let's acknowledge some people in the chat. Just 8 full. That's to Justin Fortunato, or Tuna, as we affectionately call him. Really enthusiastic about his Mustang livery. We'll get into that. I think that should be PG friendly. Abe Wozniak, Josh Popov, both in the chat. David Carter, ate too many dumplings and now I got a bubble gut. There's a bathroom break. There is a bathroom break, but you gotta make it fast. You gotta make it an F1 pit stop. Light Studios, hello there. Yes, Race Dave. Andrew Canelli, yes, piped. That is one way of saying that. Preston, Mr. Azuki Fly, Kirby fan. Hello there. And Ricky079. Hello. So the total cars in this Preston, so right now we have 11 LMP2s and 24, including myself, but if you exclude me as a broadcaster, that's 23 GT3s. Pretty full field. Preston, goddammit. This is the one time I tell you to listen. Just kidding. Love you, buddy. Who's that on track that I can follow? So we're gonna come up on qualifying in a few seconds time, just to give you guys a bit of a heads up. The qualifying will be split for a 25-minute session. The first 12 minutes, I believe, are for LMGT3s. Then we'll have a minute's break to let the GT3s finish their lap, and then we will release the LMP2s to do their qualifying. So this hopefully reduces the chance of multi-class conflicts, as of course the LMP2s are about 10 seconds a lap faster, as you can see from the timing tower over here. Oh, Ricky, you were in the sprint yesterday. Oh, were you Ricky Swabby? Well, welcome to the bar broadcast. Glad you're following us live. Good to have you, sir. Yeah, we do love it. We do love some Big P. Wait, no. Hello there. So, folks, welcome my co-broadcaster for tonight, Nick Johnson. He will have to go momentarily for qualifying, although I don't know if you're going to want to stay around for GT3 qualifying, Nick, but he will be around for the race, so expect some nice commentary from one of the league's co-admins. So, welcome to the broadcast, Nick. Are they not pressing the right pedal hard enough? No love lost between the two classes as usual. Good to have you, Nick. Well, sometimes that is all that we need. Guillermo Perry, Rich Spoon. Okay. He is practicing a pit stop, although I'm not sure he's in his box. Anyway, qualifying has started, so now, as I mentioned, the GT3s go out first. Let's see who gets out the earliest, and it is looking like Guillermo Perret. These drivers have to be careful in the pits. For one, the red light, you do not want to cross that, and get an unnecessary stop go 100. I think it's a 100 anyway. And also, with collisions on, you have to be really careful not to run into others. Anyway, green light is in the pit lane, and all our drivers are streaming out. Wow, they are coming through fast. So, Guillermo Perret in the Corvette. Coming through behind him. Adriel Lugo Ortiz. Also on the Corvette. Quite a lot of Corvettes tonight. So I'm counting at least 3. So, as we watch Dakota Botello in the Birds Aren't Real McLaren. Honestly, an all-time livery. You can look at that in third person. Just for a little bit. Appreciate the artistic genius. Well, you made all 5 people from Delaware in the chat very angry, so I can tell you that. David... David Carter has concurred a drive-through penalty somehow. I'm not entirely sure how you do that, sir. Probably just speeding through the pit lane, would be if I had to guess. We are seeing some shuffling going on. That is suboptimal. Adriel Lugo is choosing to pull back a little bit and build up a gap. Dakota Botello has a gap, but I guess doesn't want to push the cold tires too hard. Behind him, GP. So we can, I guess Guillermo Perez is about to start a lap, so we can go on board with him. And Nick, take us through this lap. Oh, hold on. There's always something, folks. Sorry about that. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, you should be back. Yeah.
Okay. So now we're coming through this section. This is a tricky corner complex. You want to start all the way to the left. Just drag the brakes a little bit, carry as much speed as you can to wash out, and then kind of an early turn in to a mid-apex. You want to get the car as square as you can to get the power down so you can carry as much speed through this section here. Now, probably the trickiest corner on the track besides the last one, it's a completely blind entry to a curved braking zone. And then you come back down the hill here, normal hairpin, and then this sets up the part of the track I struggle the most with personally. Is this corner is an incredibly late apex in order to carry as much speed as possible. Guillermo here unfortunately is washed out, but you want to come up over the curbs and then the last corner lift and park your tires on the curb as close as you can get to it, and then full throttle as early as you can to make the corner. Wash out, back down the straightaway. Now my audio wasn't working before, so the first corner here is particularly tricky.
Yes, indeed. Approaching that curve. Oh, getting real close and up close and personal. Yeah, that is a lap. So you're probably the 47.7. Dakota Botello behind with a 46.3 right out of the gate. Go on then.
Yeah, Dakota is one of the faster drivers. I'm not surprised to see him putting down that kind of lap time even on cold tires.
Yes, sir. We are expecting, based on what we saw in practice, I think even yesterday in the sprint race we saw 43s. So that is sort of the benchmark that's been set. But it'll be interesting to see what Dakota can do through this qualifying session. About 7 minutes to go for these drivers to set their lap times. One has slipped, had lost control a little bit earlier, but other than that, nothing major. A few drivers struggling to keep it on track. Clearly, cold tires catching some people out. But meanwhile,
The tires, the temperature of the tires makes a drastic change in how the car handles, and sometimes, depending on track temps, just getting heat in the tires and keeping the car on track can be more difficult than you expect.
yes, sir. Does seem like Dakota Bodolo has got 2 purple sectors in this lap. This looks like almost certainly like an improvement. The question is, where does he put that car? As per rig, it's a 46.689 ahead of him. With Tyler across the line, and it's a 45.131. Okay then. So clear that improvement with the tire temperature coming through loud and clear. Another chat, Andrew Canali. People really struggle with the braking zones here and handling the entry-exit weight transfer with the elevation changes in camber. Hooks, Coach Canoli in the chat, giving us sage advice for this track after the qualifying has started. Nah, just kidding, Andrew. You're doing great. And looking at who else is doing good fun things. Oh, my map has gone off. Oh, so I can have a better look now. P13, that's Willie Mangram's on, and P13 on a 49.5. I'm sure there's an improvement coming there. Of course, making some bold moves, bold, clean, and brilliant moves in yesterday's sprint. It'll be interesting to see if he can sort of build some confidence from that and start a bit higher up and bring the fight to the leading pack. Further back, Jesse Olsen, our co-commentator from last night, is currently P4. JP has done a good lap. He's on 3rd right now. So, go on then. Good to see him putting that M&M's Mercedes. I love it. It's up there.
He's shown a lot of improvement this week in practice, so I'm happy to see him up towards the front.
Yes, sir. JP's... Was he in the LMP2s last season? I don't remember. No, he was in the GT3.
No, he was. He drove the Mustang in GT3.
Yeah, one of the Mustang drivers. And, of course, we can't bring up Mustang without bringing up Justin Fortuna. With that beautiful purple shade Mustang. But, well, folks, this is one of the liveries of all time. That's, Nick, do you want to explain this livery for me?
Yes, this is an absolute instant OOFS Cat classic. It's a Sid Stang, sponsored by Internet Images of Sydney Sweeney and Celsius Energy Drink. Fun fact for OOFS, for a long time, any of our endurance races were different colors of the Sid Stang.
Yep.
And that was how we stood out from the crowd. Got mentioned on multiple streams for the endurance races at different times, which was always a fun thing to see.
Yes, indeed. People mentioning that they get distracted by all the logos on the fenders. Of course, a tactical advantage. You gotta really bank those in any way you can, of course, and a platform as competitive as online sim racing. In P23 right now, I think he went out again because does that look more like a banker lap? And he did have a out of control moment at the start of the session. Okay, about 2 minutes 45 seconds to go. Let's see what everyone else is doing. We got Casey Jackman down in 21st. Invalidated this last lap, so we'll be looking to set a representative banker. Coming through the final corner. And we'll see what kind of lap time he can set up. That is a 1:48.5898. That puts him right up to P3. It's a good lap, but he has enough time, I think, for 2 more laps. So he's gonna want to find more pace over there if he wants to get close to the top 2 of Dakota Botello and Jesse Olsen. Nice lap from Jesse to be about 3/10 behind Dakota. Although he's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him, that should not be an issue. Guillermo Perez has gone into the wall. Okay. That appears to be at the exit of turn 7. That right-hander where you dab the brake just a little bit going into the uphill right of turn 8. It's not moving. I'm not entirely sure if he is going to try and go again or he's going to return to garage. Yes.
In that position, that looks like the Corvette doing Corvette things.
That it is. Oh, he is moving. Might also be a technical issue. We've been seeing a lot of those. Of course, Nick, you're unfortunately very familiar with the Gods of Le Mans Ultimate cruising the server sometimes.
Yeah, I played ACC too much, I think. They're punishing me for it now.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm not a quitter. I'll get it figured out, and then you won't have to listen to me anymore.
Well, Casey Jackman coming up to complete his next flying lap. And he takes P1 in GT3 with a 45.067. Dakota Botello has boxed. I'm not entirely sure why he did that. I feel like he could have gotten another lap in. But, and then Casey, good lap. Meanwhile, we have Dave Harris coming up to take P9. I think entering the final few seconds of GT3 qualifying. Matthew Canelli is gonna go into the pits right as I go on him. Rich Spoon in 23rd, and I think that's last in GT3s at the moment. Hoping to get an improvement. Getting closer to the top. Justin Fortuna has pulled over. Doesn't look like he had an improvement, and Rich Spoon has invalidated his last attempt. Harrison Miller in the Mountain Dew Mustang stays P12 despite an improvement, although very close actually, just a few hundredths behind Adriel Lugo Ortiz. And the last cars to cross the line, Javier Tellez stays P14 despite an improvement from himself. And who's left? As we see the LMP2s you might have heard in the background, they are starting their qualifying session. But meanwhile, we are looking for the last of the GT3s, I believe. Jesse Olsen has 2 purple sectors. Hold on there.
Yeah, Jesse has a chance to pull the upset on the last flying lap and end up with the pole.
Yes, sir. And he's going to come through the final corner. Keep it within the track limits, Jesse. And he has done so beautifully. And coming up to the line, what's it going to be? That's a 1:45.138. Oof. Just a couple hundredths behind Dakota Botello for second, and about half 7 hundredths behind Casey Chapman for pole. So very close to the top 3. And that leaves, so we see the top 3, and below that, the order. Willie Bangram in P4, Guillermo Perez P5, Richie Wood in P6, JP P7, Dave Paganini in P8, Dave Harris, so the 2 Daves from New Jersey are 8th and 9th, and Russ McLean is P10. So top 10 within about 1.5 seconds, but it is quite close even through the order. Because I think P7 to P12 is within 2/10. So there's going to be some interesting mid-pack battles this race.
P12 all the way back to P20 are all within a second too, and you know as well as I do, race pace and qualifying pace are 2 different things.
Yep, and of course the race is going to be one of who's going to keep who's going to keep their car pointed the right way for the longest. But now, moving on to LMP2 qualifying. Abe Wozniak first to start a lap. And we can go on board with him and see how the LMP2s kind of differ on this lap.
Yeah. Surprisingly, the LMP2 braking markers are going to be a little bit further back from the corner compared to the GT3s. Without ABS and as they shed downforce, they're a lot harder to handle.
Yeah. It's, I've heard it described as the LMP2 is two different cars in high speed and low speed. So you can see, so planted in the high, even on cold tires. But then you go to the low speed and you have to really wrangle the car through the corner and be careful not to let it step out. That downforce really kicks in like around the 130, 140 kilometers an hour. That's roughly 80 miles an hour for the American viewers. And that changes, that gives this car, like I said, a dual personality almost. Going through turn 13, oof. Very skittish through the slow stuff as the tires are still look like they're getting up to temperature. Going to the final corner. This is where you'll see the P2 really come into its own. Easy, flat, no contest on cold tires. That is what the LMP2 UR can do.
You tried that in a GT3, they'd be picking you out of the tires in the sidewall right now.
Yes, and you would have one very angry team boss. Better hope your name's not Jack Doohan. Michael Landry has beaten that time, the 136.280. So even the fast guys being quite conservative this first lap. Of course, they are constrained by the tires, but you can see the sort of different approaches people are taking. I also assume that everyone's going to be starting on the set of tires they qualify on, because of course we have a limited number of tire sets. So curious to see people work on their tire saving during qualifying as well.
Yeah, it adds a new wrinkle to the strategy plan, knowing that you have to carry those tires over like that. So is it worth pushing another lap to get a few extra positions, or possibly one position, or saving the extra set of tires for the race?
Yep, and usually the extra set of tires is worth it. Although it'll be interesting to see drivers try to take the set of tires, especially with the 2X tire wear, whether they actually go for a new set entirely to start the race. So, we're gonna do what, 6 laps based on what I've seen so far. Abe Wozniak at a 34.8. Michael Landry immediately with a 33.7. Really setting the bar there. And you can see some of the other cars go through. Michael Kwan with a 35.1. Sticking a little bit easier. And so far this is looking... Oh, Abe Wozniak has had a moment, I think, that has let Michael Landry through. So now Landry has a clear track and no LMP2 ahead to worry about. So we'll see how he does. It's showing another purple fleck 1. Nate's sides has also gone off at turn 4. Probably just a bit too enthusiastic on the throttle or something. Not entirely sure. He seems further back. Rick Kachadurian, by the way, has not yet set a valid lap. Not entirely sure what's going on with him. The Season 2 LMP2 champion is looking to get a banker on the board and see how he sizes up to the top drivers here.
Greg will have a lot more competition this season, I think, so he needs to make sure he's on the ball for qualifying. You don't want to start out in a hole.
That he does, and just as you say that, Michael Landry with a 33.0 really laying down the gauntlet. And We'll see. We'll see how our drivers can whether anyone can really respond to that lap time. Greg is still. He is coming through turn 13 now, so we'll see what kind of lap time he does. So coming through 14 looks pretty planted to me. Not really taking too much of a track, but really using the apex here. Of course, easy flat, as mentioned in the P2s. It's gonna come up to the line, and this is gonna be a 1 minute 33.2. So only about 2/10 off. So this battle for pole very much on by the looks of it. So we'll see how this develops with 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Of course, we can't just keep on. We don't want to ignore the rest of the grid behind. Michael Quant down to Nathan Size, so P3 to P6, within about 2/10, less than 2/10, I should say. And below that as well. Oh, as I say that, who set the lap just now? That would be a Bosniak setting a 34.440, so now it's P3 to P7, that's within about 2 to 3/10. So interesting to see, especially because qualifying, similar to the sprint, this is not a very long race, so you want to qualify as well as you can just to give yourself a little bit of an advantage going into. Nate Sides is off again, and he is aborting, so that I think is the end of his qualifying. Nate Sides, unfortunate, and also set a 33.9, so he was showing some good pace there too. It's very unfortunate. Oh, Michael Landry has also had an incident as fast as I see here, so not entirely sure where. But let's hope he's not damaged his tires too much.
It looks like Bailey's just set a flyer of a lap. Almost took the pole from Landry.
Yeah, a 33.067. So the battle very much on for pole position here. We've got a three-way fight by the looks of it. Greg Kachadurian going through turn 8 right now. Michael Landry, I think, has had a... No, he is still on a valid lap, but just not sure how valid. Oop, we had... There was a yellow flag momentarily. I guess someone's just finished with their quali run. Yeah, Ron Bailey is right behind Landry, so I think... Oh, and Bailey has aborted. Oh, that's interesting. Right, and he's going out again. What on earth? I don't know if he has enough time to go and complete an outlap. So this may have cost Bailey a chance at pole position, as Greg Kachadurian with a 1:33.054. We have not forgotten about him, and still challenging Landry all the way to the last flyer. Oh, as he gets a real nasty snap coming out of turn 3, but still keeping it pointed nice and straight, and has actually improved his first sector. Can quickly look at where Landry is on track. He is also starting what should be his final flying lap, but has aborted. Oh my, okay. A lot of the front runners just aborting their laps. Maybe an under-fueling or a miscalculation? I'm not entirely sure.
He also could have invalidated it early and knew he didn't have time to get around.
It could be, yeah. Greg Kachadurian, now the sole contender left to take pole position from Michael Landry, unless we see a massive improvement from from someone else on the field. But coming through turn 14, keeping it nice and planted. He's gonna go very twitchy on the exit, so pushing all the way to the limit. I think that he's apex a little earlier than I would in the GT3s. And he's gonna go to the pits. Oh, well, that was anticlimactic. I pulled all that off. Chris McLennan going across the line to 36.564, just shy of improving. Brian Crane aborting his lap as well. No one really finding any improvement in the end here. That's interesting. Donald Bailey pitting. So the only one left on track is Michael Kwan, and I think he is stopping as well. So that should be curtains on our qualifying session, folks.
Surprisingly tight between both classes tonight. It's really good to see the level of competition we have here.
Yeah. I am very, very excited for what that means for the race. But before we get to that, your qualifying order, just to recap. Michael Landry on pole position. Greg Kachdurian starting on the front row. Donwan Bailey and Michael Kwan take up row 2. Nate Sides and Abe Wozniak on row 3. Hans Montez at qualifying Ryan Balloon on row 4. James Rubio and Brian Crane bring up row 5. And Chris McLennan will be our sole LMP2 on row 6. With that, we have reached the end of qualifying, and please stay with us while we enter a short break. And while I wait for Nick to return, just gonna give you a quick reminder that we do have our multi-class and sprint championships on Thursdays and Wednesdays, respectively. Links to join are in the description. Yeah, I would recommend joining the Discord first and just reading through what we do. And we also have a SimGrid championship that you can then apply for. We have about a minute to go. So, chat, I have not forgotten about you. Just been quietly looking on. A lot of fandom for the Sid Stang. Like Nick said, an OOFS classic. Jesse also watched P2.
Courtesy of Abe himself. That was an inspired design on his part.
That it was. Welcome back. Yeah, Andrew, Jesse is the strategy god from iRacing, all the way from iRacing, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do in this championship, especially since he does seem to have front-running pace. My YouTube's complaining about the bitrate, but it seems okay. It's just a still image. Let me just make sure that you're audible, Nick. Formation lab has started. There's the Freitas jump scare. Oh, Chris McLennan is still in the... No, sorry, that was me. So our field now taking the short formation up to the start finish line. Michael Landry and Greg Kachadurian on the front row for LMP2s. Casey Jackman and Dakota Botello on the front row for GT3s. We are in for a hell of a race.
Yeah, the start will be very interesting. The GT3s might almost catch the back of the P2 field going into turn 3.
Yep, the P2 is on cold brakes as well and no ABS, so drivers have to be a bit more careful. Let's just hope the lead at the front of the field in GT3s is cognizant of that limitation. As we are green, green, green. Let's go racing, gentlemen. Strong start by both our front runners. Michael Landry just about staying ahead of Greg Kachadurian, but Donovan Bailey sending it up the inside. Almost contact there, I think. But looks like our LMP2 field has got through okay. As same goes for the GT3s. Brian Crane going a little bit wide back there and losing the spot to Hans Montes, who has had a great start. But out in front, Michael Landry still holding the position, but Greg Kachadurian is right on his tail. As we look further back, ooh, a bit of a checkup in the LMP2 field. Let's just hope everyone makes it through okay. And there is all sorts of chaos going on in the GT3 field going into turn 5. We are seeing 2 wide going into turn 7. Gentlemen, please be responsible. It was the first lap. And we see
the desire as a driver to make up as many positions when everybody's close as you can is overwhelming, but it is not usually the smartest play. So I'm glad to see everybody survived so far, even as chaotic as it was.
Yes, sir. And Grayson Head having a couple of nice side-by-sides with Russ McLean and Harrison Miller back there. Further up front, we do need to get a gap shown, just so everyone knows. We do have Michael Landry still holding firm in P1. Dakota Botello is seeing a lot of interest from Willie Mangrum, who has made it up to P3. Okay. Jesse Olsen has lost that spot, that P3 to Willie, but good start from him. As we see Casey Jackman setting the fast level GT3, 55.598. And meanwhile, Grayson Head, by the way, has made up 6 spots on this opening lap. So, managing to get through the chaos cleanly. Seems like he has some good pace. Let's see how his race develops.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Grayson might have had a problem qualifying. He was pretty decisive. Ooh, we have a spin.
And that's Dave Harris and the Ferrari having an incident at the exit of turn 1. Not sure if there was contact involved or not. Unfortunately, this game is a little limited in replay scope. But meanwhile, Casey Jackman has pulled a 2.5 second lead in about 1.5 laps to the rest of the GT3 field. Oh my. Seemingly taking advantage of some chaos. That must have happened at the back or something. But we see Dakota Botello holding off a small Porsche train, and behind them, Young Perret is kind of by himself, about 1.5 seconds ahead of JP going very wide. That might open up the door for Richie Wood, and they are going to go side by side down to turn 10. But Richie Wood sensibly backs out of it. We can get on board and see what this looks like. As you can see, that mirror full of Mercedes. Richie Wood. Oh, and there is contact.
We got a little bit of contact.
Yeah. Richie Wood already not a fan of the Mercedes and having to fight 3 of them on lap 2. And as we see, falling through, but looks like everything's gone through pretty cleanly. Dave Paganini, meanwhile, in the Kodak livery Mercedes, keep doing a good job of keeping up with these guys and just sitting back and waiting for something to happen. As Grayson Head gets a much better run into turn 1, but can't really do anything with the Lambo parked on the apex. As we see, this train is doing all right. Got a nice little jostling for position going on. As Grayson ahead is gonna... Is he gonna look for a move into turn 5? No, being sensible. I like it, Grayson. I like it. Oh, but behind, Harrison Miller has had a bit of a I forgot to brake moment. But not really collecting anyone, so good from him.
If you're gonna go off, going off by yourself is the best way to do it.
Yes, indeed.
No, I wonder how much I wonder when strategy is gonna start coming into play here. Who's fuel saving, who's not.
Well, thanks to the VE display, we can have a look at who has us like that. There's David Carter right now leading the GT3 field about 83%. A few people in the back still on 83. Believe it, Casey Jackman is not fuel saving. He is going all out, so probably committing to a 2-stop early doors. Dakota Patello being a little more conservative. So that might explain the gap that has formed between these two.
It also might explain why Willie is so close to him. He might have pulled up to him and realized it's not worth it to fight it out right now when they can both just cruise and fuel save together. Hiding in the draft like that does add up on the fuel save, especially at 2 times fuel usage.
Yep. Just letting that car in front punch a hole through the air for you to sit in. It's a ridiculously effective endurance race strategy, and considering that this race is and for all intents and purposes, a mini endurance. Good thinking by Willie, not getting too aggressive. Although I'm sure that if the opportunity presents itself, he won't mind taking that P2 away. Oh, and he is gonna go for it. Alright then. Dakota Patello not really able to get a switchback. Wow, good move.
That was a decisive move on Willie's part there.
Yeah. You got some fans for the Kirby car as well as Dave Pacanini in the chat. Hello. Yeah, some good action even considering the fuel save aspect. Edrio Lugo Ortiz in the Corvette is giving that Kodak Mercedes a lot of interest. He says, "I would very much like to have that position, sir. Please and thank you." But Dave Pacanini holding on for now, staying behind Ross McLean. And let's see how this goes. Oh, Harrison Miller once again very wide of the apex. I'm not very sure what he's trying there, but that is not the optimal racing line, sir. As we see these 3 barrel into turn 15. Which one is braver? Which one is gonna get... Is anyone gonna get a cheeky little run going into turn 1? Dave Pacanini very much in the draft. Not fuel saving either, Dave. So it might be a move happening here. Oops. But Dave Pacanini showed himself in the mirrors for a second, but thought better of it. Going down to turn 3 though, he is kind of pole station. He's a little bit low on virtual energy, though. I would look into the... if I was in Dave's position... Oh, and as I say it... Dave, no! Spins out, coming out of turn 4. That deviously tricky corner. And unfortunately, that means Dave Pacanini is going to shuffle all the way to the back, but the pack as close as it is. And he might catch some... Oh, there's another spinner! What's that? That's Gage Galvin in the Birds Aren't Real Lexus. Oh no! Turn 4 claiming 2 victims, and now the LMP2s are going to come through. Speaking of which, not much of a change in the P2 field after lap 1. The top 6 all in the same positions as they started, as they come filter through right now. That is... Oh, Abe Wozniak is back there. So that was Nate Sides just lapping Gage Galvin. We are seeing some... Javier Tellez has also gone off. Oh! Dave Pacanini, not again! Oh, that might be tires starting to go off after that first spin. Gage Galvin has gotten past him, but he is... Well, he has managed to survive most of the LMP2 traffic, but then got a few more to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, once you heat up the tires, especially in the GT3 at this track, it doesn't really cool off for a whole lap or more. It, it's very easy to cause a spin on top of a spin.
Yep. The GT3 field has spread out quite a bit. Grayson Head and JP is, I think, the closest battle on track right now. Grayson seeing a lot of interest in that M&M's Mercedes. I'm liking the number of yellow cars we have this season on the grid. It's nice. It's refreshing. Yellow is a color that's severely underrepresented in real-life racing. But good to see that sim racers do tend to take a liking to it.
The cars in general for both classes this season, they look great. Everybody's done a really good job of representing themselves in the league and making it interesting for the fans to watch.
Yes, they have. Really putting out their passions onto deliveries. We have a yellow flag. Chris McLennan has spun at, I believe that's turn 3. Probably a lockup on the brakes, if I had to hazard a guess. He's got going again. That's okay. Justin Fortuna. Oh no! As I see that gap close, spins out coming out of turn 11. No, it's the Sid Stang. He is gonna have to rejoin safely. And waiting for everyone to go through like a gentleman. And, oh, as we see another LMP2 go off there, I think, a little bit. No, looks like Henry's got through okay. And he has gotten going again, but unfortunately those tires are not gonna be happy right now. Ooh, it's Spoon getting a lot of interest from LMP2. But it's quite close. I'm not sure why it showed him 2/10 away from the next car, but Grayson Head, meanwhile, still battling with JP. Oh, the little bit of side by side. JP's going to have a compromised entry going into turn 4, and that will set up a run for Grayson Head. It's going to just breeze past. Really seeing the difference in the line makes for that corner, and Grayson Head now up to 6th place and free to chase down Guillermo Paré.
Grayson's been moving the whole race. He currently has the fastest lap in the GT3 class.
It does, yeah. 1:45.655. Pretty good race pace. Ooh, as Matthew Canali looking for a move on David Carter. The Canada Corvette holding its own for now. Meanwhile, oh, Dakota Botello at Simmons will win. I think that is Casey Jackman. Oh, and whoa, going really well across the track there to rejoin. Casey Jackman has spun out of the lead. And Willie Mangrum has taken the lead of the GT3 race. What a dramatic change of events.
Just one corner can change the whole complexion of the race.
Yes, now Casey Jackman is going to have to weigh between either going for broke, trying to get his positions back, or try to be a bit more strategic with the compromised tires.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Dakota tries to reel Willie in to at least keep him within a manageable gap while fuel saving, or if he just plans on not taking tires and hopes Willie does. The no tire warmers this season will make a big difference on whether or not you decide to take those tires after your first or second stop.
That we do. We are... So things have stabilized a little bit, and I know the instant I say that something's going to happen and completely upend this race again. It's a really tempting fate. A couple of LMP2s coming up to my lap, Kanoe and Carter. And Matthew's big brother, Andrew, of course, our Season 2 GT3 champion.
Oh, looks like Balloon has been uses traffic effectively to get on the inside of Brian. 3 wide with GT3 traffic.
That is a bold move. There are still 2 wide going into turn 7. So it'll be interesting to see who's last, who's gonna try and risk it. Oh, they're still going 2 wide. Oh, some brilliant racing there, but Ryan Balloon has come out on top. Great to see that level of cooperation and that level of strategy from the LMP2s as well as the GT3s.
That was a who was going to blink first moment, and Balloon came out on top.
Yeah. Let's look here. Look, Javier Tellez is a very slow Ferrari over there. That's Macaroni to Garni. I don't know why he slowed down to let those cars by. There must have been an incident or something that I missed. Donald Bailey, meanwhile, has had a loss of control and dropped to fourth. So Michael Quant has gotten past him, but Bailey is... has a big rear snap. He does have the fastest lap, but he must have had a spin or something, because he's lost about 10 seconds that last lap. Well, the lead for LMP2s has not changed. Michael Landry about 1.8, 1.9 seconds ahead of Greg Kachadurian, keeping him well within arm's reach. But that battle, I believe, is yet to show itself. Richie Wood, meanwhile, has gone for an interesting strategy. He's pitted early. He's not the only one, I believe. Justin Fortuna and Dave Paganini, I mean, those two are understandable, given that their tires must have been screaming after their spins. But 3 drivers going for an alternate strategy, pitting early and then going long for this stint, for the next 2 stints, I should say.
It'll be curious to see how this works. They might set themselves up for a really short splash and dash at the end and be able to make a bunch of time back.
Ooh, as Ryan Balloon has immediately gone off after gaining the position from Brian Crane and has also lost a place to James Rubio. Ooh, that's not gonna feel great. Yeah, that does look like a standard LMP2 sprint to me, but... Going back to Grayson Head, getting a massive run, and with LMP2 traffic coming up to interfere with this little battle for P4. As Grayson Head, is he gonna go for it? He is gonna go for it. He's alongside. And he is gonna get that move done well before turn 1. And manages to hold it, not losing it on that apex curve. Grayson Head.
Hey, Grayson did a great job of using traffic there to set that pass up and get a better line than Perrette was able to.
Yeah. Clever, of course. Multiclass always brings that extra element of traffic management and minimizing your time loss, but also, yes, like you say, using the faster class to your advantage, or the slower class sometimes. As we see here, Casey Jackman setting up a move on JP. Getting real close to his bumper, but is he gonna? No, he decides to back out of it and try another spot. Meanwhile, this battle is not over though. Casey definitely looking like he has the pace advantage to get past. But is he gonna go for a move? He is, but he's not gonna get that calcle right at all. Both drivers have compromised a little bit through there. So Casey Jackman is gonna sit back, reset, and try another time.
Yeah, Casey's better off waiting, like you said, trying another time and setting up a better attack than trying to force his way in there and causing himself another incident.
Yes, indeed, as JP has also gone quite wide at the apex of 14. Let's see how he takes 15. Grayson, not going to run yet. JP holding his own well through 15, but there is an LMP2. That is, I believe... I'm not sure who that is.
I believe that's Balloon.
That might be Balloon, yeah. Coming through. But Grayson going fastly, way faster than JP into that corner. How they did not crash is beyond me. That is incredible car control from Casey Jackman. I mean, I should say, to not crash into the back of JP. But now coming up through turn 4, Casey does have the draft, but this is a very short straight. You can't rely on the draft to get you overlap, and he is once again gonna have to sit behind. I cannot imagine that. As I was gonna say, Casey might be getting frustrated. He loses the rear. Yep, been there, Casey. Been there, man. That has got to be a frustrating situation to lose the lead and then not be able to pass traffic. and the frustration coming through at turn 5. Oh, Greg Cachadorian has
we've all
gone
been there.
past. Yeah, we've all been there.
Oh.
Michael Landry has spun out or something because Greg Cachadorian has a 14-second lead. My apologies, I don't know how we missed that, but it was about 48 seconds ago. So it happened pretty recently. But yeah, Greg Cachadorian is now in the lead of this race. And does veteran from season 2 go? Well, there's a reason he's up there. Oh, Michael Kwan was very close to Michael Landry, but Landry has spun again. What on earth? That has got to be some sort of tire wear issue, because so 2 million usual spins.
I don't see any damage on the car, Nitin, so I'm thinking you're right. It's just with the 2 times tire wear, if you get any flat spots or overheat them, you can destroy a set of tires in a couple of corners.
Andrew Canelli pointing out in the chat, by the way, is some incredible VE saving going on right now. We have JP is, I think, the lowest in the GT3 field at about 20%, so going for broke on a 2-star. William Mangrum, Dakota Patel, and Jesse Olsen are all about 10% higher on VE, so different strategies coming into play. Are these guys going to go for a 1-stop? They can't be.
It's possible in the GT3s. A normal fuel stint's roughly 50 minutes, so times 2 is 25. 55-minute race. You save 2 laps per stint. I think you could do it. It'll be tight.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in terms of pace as well. Because I want to see some people who do the 2-stops. Where they come out after the stops. Oh, Grayson Head getting real squirrely. He is going for broke. He is on a 2-stop, while the top 3 are on a 1, or at least we think are on a 1. So
yeah, I think as far back as Grayson started this race, I don't think he really had an option but to try to close up as much time as early as he could. We'll see how that plays out in the end, though. It might end up costing him big on the last stop.
Yeah, definitely gonna need a splash and dash at this rate, unless he pulls off the greatest fuel saving stint of all time in the next one. Meanwhile, a couple of Willie, a few Willie Chan fans in the chat. Mr. Azuki Fly pointing out, William Angram told you all to watch out for him, and he is proving himself on his on this opening round of season 3. Big market improvement from season 2, by the way. I do need to shout that out. So well done, Willie. He's holding his own, saving fuel, and sticking to the plan.
Looks like we got a couple of cars in the pits for the first round for P2 pit stops.
Yeah, Michael Landry and Ryan Balloon going early. I don't know if that's fuel. They've done about 13 laps. So, or 12 laps, I should say. Landry's on lap 13. So, I don't know if that's typical for fuel usage on LMP2s. But Cachadorian has carried on. He is on lap 14 as Michael Landry exits the pits. Oh, and he gets a stop penalty. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, that has gotta be the gut punch after gut punch from Michael Landry today. Oh no, that is effectively race over unless and immediately tries to go for it and spins out. That is, I believe, Rich Spoon. He has tried to get around and made a hash off. So rough, very rough race for Michael Landry. That's always very sad to see. Meanwhile, let's see. Ooh, Hans Montez. I'm not sure why his livery isn't loading for me. But Hans Montez is lapping, and he is about 5 seconds off of Nate's sides. Meanwhile, Grayson Head is in the pits. Okay, that explains the delta. So, Grayson making the first of what I'm sure will be 2 stops. Let's see where he comes out. Javier Tellez also in pits. Who else? Feel really spreading out now. Casey Jackman, by the way, is still behind JP, but it does look like he's got past McLean. Hans Montez has spun. Oh no! What has happened here? 5. Where is he on track right now? Oh, that does look like turn 14? The exit of 14? I'm not entirely sure how he got there. But rejoining. Okay, he's still in P7, so he can still make something out of this race. Casey Jackman is closing bigly on JP over there, but not quite enough. Oop. Is Donovan Bailey is in the pits. Okay, that explains it.
Yeah, pit lane is about to get very full very quickly as everybody cycles through for their first, possibly only stops, depending on which strategy they're on.
Macaroni to Garney. Oh, very unsafe rejoin. Oh no! Come on. Who is that he has hit?
I believe that was Abe.
Wasn't it? Oh no. Abe is not going to be happy about that. So we're gonna have to see in the post-race debrief what happens, but that does not look very resafe jointly. Oh, KZ and JP are both pitting, so this is gonna be a pit stop race. Oh, KZ has gotten to his box. Okay. William Angram and Dakota and Jesse, by the way, all 3 legends. They are well ahead of the rest of the field on VE, and they may actually make this work. So 10% to go. I can't tell how much VE they're using per lap, but it's got to be like about 5% or something.
I believe it's between 7 and 8 on a normal full pace laps, so they might be pushing 6.
Yeah, so
I believe they'll be able to get one more lap, possibly.
Yeah, so gonna go up to lap 15, so that puts us with 26 minutes remaining. That's gonna be very, very close, I think, for a one stop. So, still a long way to go in this race, folks. Yeah, 6% a lap, Canoli says in chat as well. Now, Guillaume Paré is gonna come in this lap. He was behind Grayson quite comfortably, but let's see where that goes. Grayson Head, meanwhile, has come out of the pits. He is getting some interest from Michael Landry, I believe that is, lapping him. Yeah, Michael Landry, meanwhile, has served that pit stop. He is about 26 seconds off of Ryan Balloon, or sort of stop go, I should say. It's about 20 seconds off of Ryan Balloon. Hans Montes. Oh, they're in the pits. Andy Garney going very slow. I'm not sure what's happening here.
I believe he missed the pit lane, Nitin.
Uh-oh. Yeah, they're looking at about 5% VE, so that's going to be quite the fuel save job. Not impossible, but definitely going to be painful. Justin Fortuna, meanwhile, is catching up to him in spades. He has about 47% left. Wait, how does he only... Oh, he did pit pretty early, but...
Tuna's on the early stop strategy, so he'll jump a bunch of people for track position and then lose it again when he goes back in.
Yeah. It's gonna have to make that second stop long. Garney going very wide of turn 5 as well, just to get out of the way. So
I wonder if after that incident with Wozniak, if Garney doesn't have a damage to his car.
Nope. So I was gonna say the leaders are just about ready to get in the pits, but Richie Wood has had a bit of a moment as I have focused on William Angram. He's gotten lapped, but I assume he's gonna get that lap back as soon as these guys clear into the pits. So, first pit stop, who's gonna go bowl? Oh, Dakota Botello gaining a lot, as William Angram, I think, taking it more conservatively on pit entry. Jesse Olsen is about a second behind as well, so yeah. Let's see who can nail their pit stop. Meanwhile, Paré has been overtaken by Casey Jackman on track. So yeah, these guys are just
It
about
looks like
pulling.
whatever strategy Casey used helped him jump JP in the pits and saved him a battle on the track that he was having some struggle getting around him.
Yeah, Casey has gotten past JP as well as Paré. Elo and David Carter, meanwhile, having a nice little battle, the Corvette versus Corvette. And Elo seems to have gotten the better of David Carter, who has just come out of the pit, so maybe cold tires coming into play there? Not sure.
The most impressive part about that whole sequence is it's two Corvettes and neither one of them spun.
Yeah. So I think we are just about ready to see everyone leave the pits. And Dakota Botello has jumped Jesse and Willie. Ooh. Willie Mangrum is just exiting the pits now, so I'm not sure what's happened there.
I think with the timing, it looks like Willie may have taken two tires.
Yeah, that does look like it. Dakota Botello then choosing not to take tires. That is a bold gamble, with the clockwise nature of this track really stressing out the left tire, so we'll see if that pays off. Meanwhile, Russ McLean is somehow managed to jump Jesse Olsen. I'm not sure how that happened. But, yeah, William Mangrum, yeah, we can see those cold tires in effect. Yeah, you might be right, Nick. He's going very slow through turn 4. Yeah.
I think Jesse took tires as well, and I don't believe Ross did, and that's how Ross was able to gain that track position.
Yes, sir. Ross McLean is going to have to pit again and will be vulnerable once those new tires are up to temperature. Grayson Head, meanwhile, is within a second of Jesse Olsen on his super aggressive two-stop. He's got an LMP2 in the way right now, but that's going to be away. So Jesse Olsen, a bit of a sitting duck on those cold tires, I'd imagine. Because I don't think Grayson has changed tires. And Grayson trying to go around the outside. But gonna get a good switchback and coming through again. Around the outside, going into turn 13. Oh, very close racing. Good trust between the two drivers. And Grayson looks like he's got it done. Yeah, he is ahead. So
that was a nice move around the outside of the hairpin to pin himself into the preferred line for the next corner. That was smart driving on Grayson's part.
Yeah, you can clearly see the warm tires coming into play for Grayson. So ahead on track right now, but I don't know if Grayson is planning to take tires at his next stop. Would be unlikely. But also, Jesse Olsen may be in prime position to strike right back once his tires are up to temperature. Although Canoli in the chat is saying that he doesn't think they took tires. Who are you referring to, Canoli? Jesse, Willie? Not sure who exactly you're referring to there. But Dakota Botello for now retains the lead, 17 seconds. Oh, this last lap has been quite brutal for that gap. So both classes having comfortable leads, right? Both class leaders are in their own zone right now. You can go, and the field has spread out quite a bit. Let's see. Let's close this here right now.
The tire gamble is interesting.
He's had a moment. He's fallen behind.
I believe he just came out of the pits.
Oh yeah, true. Okay. So he's done a splash and dash early then to go to the end. So let's see how he gets on. Dave Harris and that chrome Ferrari.
He's recovered quite well from the spin he had in the first quarter of the race.
Yeah.
That's a lot of resolve and fight back there. That's a hell of a recovery drive.
Yep, that's it.
Now let's not give him the commentator's curse and hope he goes.
I moved away as soon as I could. I did my part. But yeah, Edgar Ortiz now giving Richie Wood all his attention, looking for that move. Richie is probably looking to get into the pits now. Is very slow. Meanwhile, we've had our first retirement in GT3. That's Macaroni 2 Garni. Not sure what happened there. Probably related to the underfueling or damage. Could be either.
From the 5% VE he had, I'm gonna guess he either ran out of fuel or ran out of VE, and took the retirement rather than the stop go 100.
Very likely. So this battle is now going to get a little bit spicy, because that's Ryan Balloon, I believe, coming up to lap them in the LMP2. So once again, we'll see an example of using the traffic tier advantage, as Elo is going to go for it, but I don't know if there was contact. It did seem clean, but also just about. And he's managed to he's gotten ahead, but Richie Wood's still in it, but choosing to lift out at turn 7 and choosing to survive. Richie Wood yet to make a pit stop. These two are on different strategies.
That was almost an exact replay of the balloon and crane. Oh, David Paganini off again.
Again. David is not comfortable with his car at the moment. I don't see any. There is some damage on the rear right quarter panel. I wonder if he's kind of nursing an issue, because that Mercedes does not look very healthy. Going through some other battles, Russ McLean is on the back of Dave Harris, having completed his second pit stop. Harrison Miller and Matthew Cannelli having a nice little scrap for P13. Casey Jackman is closing in on Jesse Olsen. Okay. This might be some recovery from Casey if he manages to pull this one off.
I think based on the fuel usage, Casey will have to stop again, so I'll be curious to see if Jesse fights hard for the position or just lets him go knowing he'll get it back on the pits later.
Yeah, and 4/10 advantage. You could gain from the toe as well a little bit. As McLean Harris are battling, but this is going to be complicated by the LMP2. In this case, not necessarily helping McLean taking up the apex, but I'm sure that'll come back to pay him at some point as we head through turn 5, going through the uphill section. But now P2 gets through cleanly. As Dave Harrison does have an unobstructed run, but that's also David Carter, so there's a nice little three-way scrap going on here. It'll be interesting to see how this develops. Meanwhile, Matthew Cannelli has been overtaken by Harrison Miller. I don't know about you, but Greg Cachadorian getting real close to that BMW. Not sure why he's carrying so much with a 16-second lead. But yeah, Greg Cachadorian has lapped these two successfully, but that I think is Hans Montes also lapping Cannelli.
No, I gotta give little Cannoli a shout out here. He is much improved from when he first joined the league, and it's really great to see some of the younger, newer drivers going from complete rookies to racing inside the top 10 or just outside of it.
Yes, oh, sorry. I just had to let that LMP2 go through to get my heart rate back to normal. But yeah, it is genuinely almost heartwarming, should I say, to see the drivers develop. We're always happy to see, like a little bit of pride seeing them grow into sim racing. Oh my god, Russ there though, really testing the brakes on that Porsche. But yeah, we have seen a lot of drivers come in and not necessarily be on the pace to start with, but they do grow into it, and they do come up and they one day do tend to challenge the fast guys too. Willie Mangrum, prime example, by the way. Granted, he is about 40 seconds off, but to be P2 in this field is extremely impressive in the second season.
Agreed. And as an admin, that makes me really happy to see that's the kind of environment and community that we're growing here, that everybody helps new guys and helps each other. And it's not complete competition without respect.
Oh, and as you say, competition. Grayson Head has gotten past him, of course, on different strategies, these two. But Willie Magnum's going to get that switchback into turn one of all places. Getting feisty with that Porsche.
That was a really nice move by Willie.
Oh, and Dave Paganini has stopped. I was just wondering where he was. Well, we got to see that. That's... sorry, Dave. I don't know what part of the commentator's curse that was, but that was tough to watch. Oh, as Grayson doing a little bit of avoidance with the blue flag there. I believe that was Rich Spoon being blacked. Well, let's go back. Casey Jackman is still behind Richie. Oh no, he's still behind Jesse Olsen. Richie Wood, I think, getting lapped here. Casey's gonna get adventurous going into turn 8. That is a decision. Yeah, the LMP2 just ducking and weaving, trying to get around these guys. I believe that's Brian Crane. Just getting through this traffic. As we see... Oh, what the other guys?
Yeah. Brian Crane with the Joker Riddler mobile.
Thankfully, not playing the villain in this battle. Choosing to wait first. The pragmatic choice, given 23 seconds behind Rand Balloon, about 3 seconds away ahead of Landry. He can take a little time.
Oh, we have a P2 retirement. Michael Quant is out.
Oh,
I just heard from him. He lost the rear end, had a huge tank slapper, and slammed the wall, and ended up taking himself out of the race.
oh no. That hurts. Yeah, the OMP2 is fast, but also tricky to tame. Well, this little battle. Tell is on 62. Olsen doing a fantastic job fuel saving and holding off Casey Jackman behind him. Him and Billy and Dave Harris are 3 VE leaders. Of course, Richie Wood has 2 stopped, of course, so that would explain the higher VE. But these guys, Dakota, Willie, and Jesse, all 1 stopping, or at least trying to. So the varying strategies coming together a little bit. They are going to diverge again when Grayson has to pit, as well as KZ, JP, and Pare. But it's nice to see these converge. Oh, so KZ Jackman, he's still behind. David Carter, meanwhile, has lost position Russ McLean as we see a wide David Paganini again. Feel for you, Dave.
Poor Dave.
So sorry. Yeah.
No, it's going to be curious to watch the gap between first and second in the GT3s and whether or not taking tires was the right call for this race. It's already closed up quite a bit. The last time we were looking at it, I believe they were down to just under 12 seconds.
Yeah,
it was at 17 at one point.
Yep, 11.5 seconds. He is closing quick, especially you can see to turn 1. The Delta just dropping through these right-hand corners. Oh, as Brian Crane has had him off. I assumed him and Landry were battling. But looks like Landry has made it up to P5? Am I reading that right? He probably has to pit again for fuel, but man, for a moment there, that's honestly quite impressive to be that far back and still come back to P5 if that is on the same strategy. No, Jesse Olsen's still holding up Casey Jackman quite effectively. Greg Cassidorian, I think that's correct. I think that's Greg coming up to lap them. The other battles, Greg's got cleanly. Harrison Miller battling David Carter. As Carter takes a rather interesting line through turn 3. So Miller might have a run here. He is making
he got a much better exit.
Yeah. And Miller is gonna get alongside and try to send it, but backs out of it kind of at the last minute there. Probably realized that he's not gonna outbrake that Corvette.
As sketchy as the Corvette can be to drive, it has one of the better sets of brakes on GT3s, and you can absolutely use that to your advantage, especially defending.
Yes, sir. And while we've been watching this, William Ingram setting purple laps for GT3, 145.523, as you see on screen there, about 1 second faster than Dakota Botello that lap. So with a gap at about 10 seconds as I read right now, this could be something worth watching.
I've done the math right. They should have roughly 6 laps. So it depends on how much that delta keeps closing. If Willie can put in a second or a second and a half a lap better, it'll be down to the tenths by the last lap.
Yeah,
and it really depends on when Greg crosses the line, if everybody gets an extra lap or not. So that would be another thing to pay attention to.
Yeah, the way I'm reading it, Willie has just done his sector 1, and it closed the gap down to 9.3 seconds back there. It's down to 9.1 now as they navigate the second. And
yeah, the not taking tire strategy is really going to hurt you in the right-hand corners, as that left front has probably been screaming for the last 10 minutes, and you got another 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, so now it's going to be about, can Willie close that gap? And of course, closing the gap, is, we hear this a lot in racing, closing the gap is one thing, passing is another. Oh! Harrison Miller vastly misjudges his braking point and punts David Carter. He's going to wait. Yeah, he is going to wait and let him pass. Gentlemanly thing to do. But, man, that is a moment of misjudgment from Harrison. He's going to regret. William Ingram, meanwhile, he's just done a 145.55, just 2 milliseconds off his fastest time on that last lap. Oh, taking quite a lot of liberty with the track limits there. But, I mean, you can kind of expand, you've heard them call speed coupons. So you really want to try and utilize all the track limits you have available to you when you're racing at the fastest paces. So really clearly feeling like he can use some of those speed coupons to try and close this gap.
Traffic will play a big role too. If Dakota ends up catching any lap cars, that can play right into Willie's hands and let him close that gap up without expending too much energy himself.
Yeah, right now Willie is about 3%, let's say, down on energy from Dakota. Is that gonna be a factor? Because let's say we have about 5 laps left, I think, at this point.
Right around there, 5 or 6, depending on when Greg crosses the line. It's roughly 6 to 7% a lap, so he might end up having to fuel save the last lap in order not to get a VE penalty.
Yes, meanwhile, Dakota Botello does have that going for him. The gap has come down to about 8.6, but he's lost a bit of time through this corner. And of course, that McLaren, how have we gone this far in the stream without mentioning the McLaren's BOP? This ridiculous straight line advantage.
Yeah, towards the beginning of the race, when Dakota was running from Casey, there was nothing Casey could do. The McLaren will just outdrag anything down that front straightaway.
So Dakota does have the power. Willie has the grip. So which one will win? He does a 46.217, about 7 tenths faster than Dakota, but that's not quite enough to close that gap in time. There's Michael Landry, I think that is, coming up to lap him. And Michael Landry is about 3 seconds behind Ryan Balloon. I assume he has pit, so that's going to be on the same strategy. Meanwhile, in LMP2 podium, we have not given the LMP2s enough screen time this race. It's just mainly because the battles have been quite far between. But this is a battle for a position. Oh no, he's got past Donovan Bailey. Not entirely sure what happened there. As we head into the night, Nate Sides has come up to P2. Billy is going very slowly, 147 on the last lap, and not really trying to catch that gap back up. He's actually staying behind the GT3. That tells me that he is out of fuel. And desperately trying to fuel save, either to get to the pits or to just get to the checkered flag. Ooh, that doesn't like, yeah.
It looks like Grayson Head's gonna be coming in for a splash and dash along with Casey Jackman to make it to the end.
Yeah,
we'll see if that two-stop pays off.
It will be very interesting to see. JP, I think, is 21 seconds behind. So, trying to look at who they would be racing coming out of the pits. Edrielgo Ortiz about 30 seconds behind Grayson and Casey. Casey is staying out for another lap. He does have the pit stop requested, but he does have the VE to pull off another lap. Grayson filling up about... Ooh, that's a lot of VE, I feel. But anyways, Edrielgo Ortiz coming out of the final corner. Is he going to be ahead of Grayson? The evidence does suggest so. He is going to be pretty comfortably ahead. So Grayson Head coming out of the pits now. So he's going to be P8. But you got to understand, that is still an impressive 7 positions gained for him this race. So
yeah,
in a sense, the two-stop has kind of worked out for him, I guess. Would you call that a success?
I mean, I would. 7 positions over the course of a race against this field is really impressive. Once you get inside the top 20, really, basically the whole field, you're fighting for every position. So to make up 7 over the course of the race, possibly more because there's a few more pit stops up in front of him that look like they're going to occur soon. So he might end up gaining even more and end up in the top 5.
Yeah, this is something we're keeping out for. William Ingram has not quite been closing the gap as much as he needs. 146.1 on that lap, on the previous lap, and this lap is going to be a... What's it going to be? 146.2, so again, another 7/10 gain to Dakota, but not quite enough. But he is giving it his all. You can see him really pushing the apex of turn 1. But as of right now, without any intervention, it does look like Dakota Botello might hang on for now. Casey Jackman coming in.
Hoping for a mistake from Dakota is going to be a long wait, so.
Yeah. Dakota, one of the faster guys I know from Assetto Corsa Competizione. Also a very experienced Gran Turismo 7 player. I believe he has a few hundred hours in it. So, a very accomplished sim racer coming into Le Mans Ultimate. Well, Casey Jackman is gonna come out, I think, in P8. Russ McLean is about to cross the start-finish line.
It'll be a tight exit.
It will be indeed. He's coming up to the line. Where is Casey Jackman? Oh, there he is. He's gonna be in 10th, right behind Dave Harris. So a bit of battling for him. Oh, as he goes very, very wide at turn 1. That's interesting. So definitely going to need to do a bit of battling if he wants to make any positions, but it's only 2 minutes left. I don't know how much more Casey can do. I think that might be curtains.
It looks like ELO is going to be coming in and possibly JP, so he should end up well inside the top 10.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not the result he hoped for, but it's a long championship, so.
Yeah. Just salvaging whatever you can. And also the championship point structure, not really punishing you too much for missing out on the top 3, I think. Like, very fair points distribution. Oh, and so consistency is rewarded a bit more than winning. Coming up, Edrielgo Ortiz and Pare fighting. Elo gonna have to come into pit, so probably just taking it easy and not risking anything.
It'll be real interesting on the timing of when Greg crosses the line here, whether or not everybody has to do 1 or 2 more laps.
Yes, indeed. Greg Cashadurian coming through turn 14, so he is going to start the final lap, I believe. So
Yeah.
if you are someone who is like just a bit ahead of someone stopped. Matthew Canelli has got a stop-go penalty. Not entirely sure what that's about.
Oh, he ran out of VE.
Oh no. Richie Wood has had an off. He's down to P19. But Rick Ashdurian has started the final lap of this race. There's a couple of cars ahead that would be that may be interested. So this is 28. So that's P18. So Gage Galvin is coming up to turn 5. So he might be one of these GT3s about to get a lap. So he's gonna make it to the end. Meanwhile, Dakota Botello just about to cross the start-finish line. He has more than enough VE to make this last lap, so he will be full push now. And it does look like he's got this win in the bag. No.
It looks like both leaders just need to make the final lap, hit their marks, calm down, and bring it home.
That's about it.
That's a good feeling as a racer. My few wins, the one I had was like that, and it's calming and nerve-wracking at the same time to be in that position.
Yeah, you're just hoping that everything just works. One more lap. Come on, we've gone so far. Let's just bring this home. It's definitely a sense of not quite relief, but a sense of it's like the weight is almost lifted off your shoulders. And
yeah, you're coaching yourself through every corner on the last lap, going, all right, brake here, all right, turn here, easy on the gas, look ahead.
And that is what Greg Kachadurian has been doing for most of this race as he crosses the line to win the first race of the Season 3 Multiclass Challenge. And behind, I think. And so, a dominant win from Greg after an early battle with Michael Landry. And we are going to see a few more cars crossing the line. So Dakota Botello is going through turn 14. Nate Seitz has crossed the checkered flag to finish P2. Donovan Bailey is a little further back. He is going to cross. He is, I think, pretty much guaranteed a podium here at this point. Dakota Botello, meanwhile, coming across the line to win the GT3 class of our multi-class race. After a great drive holding on with that one-stop strategy, William Angram taking a very well-deserved second place, and Jesse Olsen, the endurance fuel-saving master, coming across the line with a lap to spare. Go on then. That is a great fuel save from him. And a well-earned podium. Grayson Head is gonna finish 4th, I think. He's got Guillaume Perret. Oh no! As I say that.
Oh no!
Grayson, no. Well, thankfully he's got quite the gap to be 6th, so he is gonna be 5th. But in 4th place, Guillaume Perret in the Corvette, just about taking the final corner. And he is
going to go back to what I was saying about the last lap. That's where it gets you.
Yeah. You gotta keep your head in the game. Guillaume Perret taking 4th place on the last lap from Grayson Head. Yeah. Close race in GT3, and I believe that's everyone. Then Ron Heslop is our last GT3 to cross the checkered flag. Matthew Canelli. Oh, we have a couple, actually. Yeah, my apologies. Matthew Canelli is the last one. He has run out of VE. That is hence the stop-go. He's still somehow going. That must have been an insane fuel ratio that he has put into his setup to keep going for 2 laps after running out of VE. If he's gonna cross, he's gonna be our last car to cross the line. Kirby 8 and all this cars. Second and Matthew Canelli crossing the line. He's gonna. I'd assume he's drops down the order a little bit, but apparently not. So your finishing order in LMP2: Greg Kachadurian in P1, Nate Seitz in P2, and Donovan Bailey to round out the podium. James Rubio, Hans Montes, Michael Landry, Good recovery drive to finish 6th after a stop go and 2 spins. Ryan Balloon P7, Brian Crane P8, Abe Wozniak P9, and Chris McClellan P10. Michael Kwan DNFing, unfortunate for him. And then GT3s. Nick, do you want to take the GT3 field?
Yeah, so you have Dakota Botello as your winner on a really clever one-stop strategy. Willie Mangrum did the same, ended up second. You have Jesse Olson third, Guillermo Parrott fourth, Grayson Head fifth with a really nice drive from a not great qualifying for him. Russ McLean in sixth. I think that's his best finish here. Dave Harris spins and still ends up inside the top 10 with seventh. Casey Jackman had a little bit of a rough race, started up front and had a couple incidents, ended up moving backwards, but recovered to eighth. JP with a solid ninth for a top 10, and David Carter finishing 10th to round up your top 10 with the Canada Corvette.
Indeed. And in P11, Adriel Lugo Ortiz. Nice drive from him, but not really gaining any positions. Dustin Rand, P12. Donnie Greathouse and P13. Justin Fortuna, 14th. Rich Spoon gaining 8 positions to finish 15th. Ron Haslip, 16th. Matthew Canelli in 17th. Gage Galvin in 18th, still gaining 2 positions despite the spin into turn 4. Javier Tellez, 19th. Dave Pacanini, a race to forget for him, winds up in 20th. And our last finisher, in terms of DNFs, we have Richie Wood, Harrison Miller, and Macaroni to Carney. So with that, switch screens. So do we bring in the P2 leaders for our podium interview?
Sounds like a good idea, Ninton.
Hello again, Greg.
Oh,
Nate
hello.
and Nate is in there. I hope you remember to unmute.
I've been
And
abducted.
I don't see
Yes,
Bailey
the
in
mothership
the voice
finally
chat.
came for you.
Oh, Nate just left the chat. I don't know why he did that. Do I want to bring him back? There's only one person from the podium.
Who doesn't know that it's an interview?
Okay, I'll bring him back once again just to see if he gets the message. But Nate, it's an interview, man. Yeah.
What's that?
It's our post race interview for the broadcast.
Oh,
welcome,
thanks.
welcome.
How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Good race from you. Gained 3 positions up to second. Talk about your race.
I knew I wasn't gonna have pace to keep up with the front guys, so I just figured I'd go as long as I could and hopefully stay out as long as I could, and I was able to make it work.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Great job on your position. Nick, do you have any
Thank you.
questions?
No, I think he played the strategy he was dealt the best he could. I mean, that was a really good drive.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Good to have the season back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it felt good to get that round one. Did you have any jitters before the race?
Not too much. This is the first I've driven this car in a long time, so had to knock the rust off the last couple of days in some practice.
Coming back to it and getting top 3 is nothing to be ashamed about at all, especially in this field.
And
yeah,
jumping
exactly.
to
I'll take it
LMP2 as well.
anytime.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
So moving on. Greg Castadorian, you're winner of today's race. Greg, man, how did you feel like seeing that initial battle with Michael and then, just realizing you're in front?
It was not how I absolutely wanted that to end, because as you saw in qualifying, the top 3 of us were separated by 600ths. It's just freaking insane. I mean, it was showing to be a good battle. I was trying to do a little bit of fuel saving just to get 1 extra lap. But yeah, once I saw Michael spin and then Donovan spin as well, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna fuel save and keep the car alive. And then I saw, so I got the extra lap. I saw Nate got a second, which I didn't even know was possible. And I figured he would be good for the end, and so I had no choice but to stretch it out as well. So the last half of the race, I was fuel saving like mad. I finished with 0.7
yeah.
liters.
Yeah, I do see here Nate with the one stop. Oh man, great job making that work in a P2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No,
Alright.
great drive, Greg. I'm sure you were sweating bullets with .7 left. At what point did you realize you had enough to make it?
Well, when I realized that because of everyone else's misfortunes, I had like some 20-second gap, and I figured, well, I was gonna be slow as hell, but like I have basically no choice. And I have tiny pedals, so I'm watching it update in real time, and it was for most of that second stint, it was showing I was gonna be short by about 2 liters. And so just a ton of coasting, I was somehow able to claw it back, and I just barely finished.
Well, it paid off. .7's .6 more than you needed to get to the line, so.
Yeah. No, for sure. And like I said, I didn't think that was gonna be possible until Nate did it. So
Way to be a
I honestly didn't
trendsetter,
think it was
Nate.
gonna be. I didn't think it was gonna be possible until I got to the first pit stop. I knew I wasn't gonna be fast enough to keep up with you guys, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go my pace and stay out of trouble.
yeah,
Yeah.
it works.
Yep. Alrighty, folks. Thank you once again, and congratulations on a great race. And now I will
Thank you.
banish you back to general chat.
Well, fine.
Greg left on his own. Nice. All right. I don't see so Dakota, Willie, and Jesse. I see Jesse. Willie is deafened, and I don't see Dakota. So do we want to grab a couple other folks? We could grab Grayson for his great drive. And
I pinged all them in Discord, so
okay.
if you want to drag Jesse up.
All right, I'm gonna drag Jesse and
Willie?
Grayson at least. Willie's deafened, so I don't know if he's gonna realize. So I'm just gonna if he comes back online, I'll drag him up. But
Hey, I
he
recognize this
responded.
place.
welcome back, Jesse. Good to see
Good
you
to
again.
be back.
Uh,
We're back, boys. Season 3, here we go.
yes. So Jesse, man, your fuel saving is all. I'm a huge fan of your work. So talk us through your race.
My math was not mathin'. But yeah, that's exactly it. As soon as I got a stronger quality than I thought I would. I was just hoping to be around the front and find myself a little pocket. I could maybe chase a rabbit or somebody who was pushing and get in a draft and save fuel. And that happened pretty early. I think a couple of people didn't catch the memo about one stop in the race. So it looked like only me, Willie, Honest, and Dakota were sniffing that out early. So we were all just kind of hanging around, and then we pitted, and I think Dakota might have not taken tires, but Honest did. I'm not sure how that worked out, but I was really worried we would get a 30-second lap. So I was just kind of hanging back, saving out fuel, hoping that might happen and these guys would be short on VE, but we did 31 laps. So I had enough to get to the end, and I'm not real happy with third.
Yeah, great job pulling off that one stop, both of you guys. But anything else? Other than that, I don't know. Nick, do you have anything to ask?
How was the P2 traffic? I didn't see any terrorism, so that was nice to see. What were your thoughts as being somebody who was racing, Jesse?
I picked up right where last season went off. I didn't really have any problems with the P2s. I can't think of one incident where, somebody sent it or, wasn't making their presence known. So I thought it was great racing.
Yeah, there was battles all throughout the field, so that was nice to nice to see. So when Casey spun, were you able to see that? I know you guys were all fairly close.
Absolutely not. He spun in the worst spot right atop the hill.
Yeah, I almost
Um,
crashed out on that.
Yeah, I had to bail to the left on that one too. That's not where you want to see somebody parked. I'll just say that.
100%.
Sideways
Oh.
at that too.
Yeah. We did
Yeah, honest
see.
pace was really good. It was really good tonight. Congrats on P2, man.
Hey, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, congrats on P3, Jesse,
Yeah,
and
congrats.
honest man, you were so close to pulling that off.
Yeah, when I saw him leave the pits, I was like, he didn't go with new tires. All right, and I just had to hope. I knew I was gonna have to save at least one more lap, and that last stint. And then once I got to around, I think 9 laps remaining, I was like, all right, I either got to push it here and hopefully climb back, or just take a P2. And fortunately, the strategy did not work, but it was still a good race, and I had a good battle with Dakota at the beginning, so nothing to complain about.
No, not at all. I mean, you got to take those gambles sometimes, and I think you, Dakota, and Jesse were the only GT3s to make the one-stop work. So that takes a lot of skill to maintain the pace you guys were doing and fuel save as much as you were. We were interested when I started seeing the purple lap times come up, and I was like, oh, that delta's closing.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, there's like 3 or 4 laps where I just started to get some pretty heavy P2 traffic, and that kind of messed up that ability to climb back there. But still, it was good. It wasn't anything bad from the P2s. I actually really enjoyed it. So
Good, that's the goal here, man. Congrats on the P2. Didn't mean to take over on you, Nitin. Do you got any questions for him?
No, I just want to say, dude, and we discussed this on the stream as well, but insane improvement from last season, man. Your pace was great to see, and we were really looking forward to that battle in the end, but didn't quite happen. But I'm sure though, it's a long season. I'm sure we've got more to see from you. Great job.
hey, thank you, Nan. And I appreciate you guys, keeping me along and help me improve. OOFS is really taking me the next step, so I really appreciate all of you.
Oh, dude, that's awesome to hear. Like that's why we do it. We like most of you and enjoy seeing all of you do better.
Present company excluded. Hey, real quick, Nitin, did my livery show up or not?
You showed up as a silver Porsche, so no.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the
We'll have to
liveries
get
have
that
been a
adjusted
bit.
for next week.
Yeah, it's been a bit suspect, but I'm sure
I
you can-
could have sworn I set my livery in SimGrid, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting purple, so I was a little shocked when we didn't.
Well, we'll just have to wait another week to debut it then, I guess, huh? Keep the fans on the edge of their seat, wanting to see the new content.
Yeah.
All 2 of them, I think. Again, present company excluded.
All right.
But I can't wait to watch the broadcast, guys. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
looking forward to going to rewatch it.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
You got some fans in chat.
Yeah, Willie, you had a few people cheering you on to the race.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah,
fans.
he has both of our fans. Willie is
All right.
scaring OOFS right now as far as social media content goes.
I like to believe it's a livery.
Yeah, I think they're like me and think it's a titty at first.
True.
All right.
Sex sells.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, Grayson.
Grayson.
I did pull you up.
ahead.
Just wanted to talk to you. You gained 10 positions this race. What a drive, my guy. So I'm curious, like, what happened in qualifying, or did you have anything happen in qualifying? And like, talk us through your thinking in terms of race strategy.
My qualifying was very much an event that I would like to forget. I
Oh no.
caught people 3 times, and I just could not find a space. And when I did finally find a gap, I track limits on my last opportunity, and then missed starting another lap by about 10 seconds. So just all around lame on the qualifying. And I kind of figured that some people were going to try fuel saving. I wasn't sure what kind of a result I could get, but I figured my best chance was to just extract everything from the car and the tires that I possibly could. I was hoping I had an opportunity to get a lot of positions on the first lap without murdering anybody, and I was very lucky. There were a lot of gaps that I could just slide in while people were distracted with other people, and then I already knew I was going to take tires for the second stop, and I planned on beating them like they owed me money. And I spun on the last lap. My rear tires were like 30%. So yeah, I cooked them because I was just trying to build a gap before my second stop because I knew everybody in front of me was not going to take a second stop, and just pushed a little too hard.
Yeah, it's always
I mean, it happens. It still paid off. You were the biggest mover.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. There were some panic-inducing moments. I definitely rearranged Richie's rear quarter panel while I was distracted trying to get past packaging. So,
how's the LMP2 traffic for you? We saw a few close calls, but nothing too serious from our end. But
I think they all just chose to spin harmlessly in front of me. That was the only thing I noticed with the LMP2s.
Yeah.
There were definitely a couple passes that I was, I had to, especially when I was trying to catch, I think it was the Porsche that was in second place. I forget who it was. When I was trying to catch him, there were 2 or 3 LMP2s that, threw it up the inside of the last corner, and that just lost me so much pace that I kind of backed off at that point because I just knew there wasn't enough race left to get in front of him and build a gap.
Yeah. That's one of the downfalls and good parts about multi-class racing. Sometimes the traffic takes, sometimes it gives, and unfortunate it worked out that way, but really good drive overall, man. Like, it's seriously impressive.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what the season has in store for you. Keep pushing.
Thanks. Yeah, it was fun.
All right. I will drop you back. All right. So that was quite the eventful race. We do have a few messages in chat. So Mr. Azuki Flight, yes, of course, the pleasure is ours. Donovan's in chat, Donald Bailey. He says, I had to save 4+ lap in the middle of my second stint to make it to the end without stopping again. It's about GT3 pace. Wasn't paying attention to my fuel until that point. Oh, you hate to hear it, Donovan. Yeah, these races the extra 10 minutes has kind of pushed the strategies quite hard, I think. There are Hans Montes in the chat. Yeah, man, that was a bonkers qualifying. So yeah, great to see. I'm excited for this season. If it's that close in round 1, I'm sure people will level up as the season goes on.
Yeah, as everybody gets more comfortable and gains experience, like I can only see the racing getting tighter and closer as the season goes on, and hopefully we end up with some really good championship battles that go all the way down to the last round.
Yep, you love to see it.
I know. Personally, I'm hoping next week at Le Mans it's just you in the broadcast booth because I'd really like to race.
Yeah, and I really hope, you get that shot at Le Mans. It's a fun track. Alrighty, so Nick, it's been great having you. Thank you once again for doing this. I really appreciated the insights and the interviews. You do have quite the eye for racing. So thank you for that.
Oh, thanks for the opportunity, and thank you for all your hard work on streaming this and broadcasting for us. I know I can speak for all the admins when we say we really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, pleasure is all mine. And to the people watching, we've been OOFS Racing, and we will see you for the next race.